trinket.
Hello and welcome to Everything to Guppy, the podcast where we talk about every single item, every single enemy, every single everything in the Binding of Isaac. I'm William Hughes, and I'm joined, as always, by a little booger, Gary Butterfield. Gary, that's a wonderful character, and I'd love to hear more about him in a few minutes. We gotta address the elephant in the room.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Funeral for a friend. R.I.P. Dean Stockwell. The QLC will never be the same.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Sad about Dean Stockwell.
Mm-hmm.
I like Dean Stockwell.
I'm pro Dean Stockwell. Child actor made good. Always a good story.
To me, Dean Stock great.
Dean, I was trying to think of a better word than stock, but stock is all Dean NFT great.
Yes. Yeah. Let's go and put that on his tombstone.
Yeah, Dean is already the king of a college, so we can't take that one higher. There's no super Dean.
No. He's a dean among all true men. I liked that man quite a bit.
Yeah.
He's responsible for my favorite scene in one of the few David Lynch movies I really love.
Oh, I didn't know that David Lynch did the Boogeyman episode of Quantum Leap.
He did. It was a real stretch for him.
Yeah, not that much of a stretch. It's a real weird episode, Gary. That's the one where Dean Stockwell is playing the devil, and where he it's a dream sequence, but he gets very mad at Sam for going through history and righting all of his good wrongs.
Oh no, I know. There's also the deleted scene where it's David Lynch and Scott Bakula going back and forth with Scott Bakula going, "Oh boy," and then David Lynch going, "Oh boy," and them just doing that for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, while those malevolent Woody Woodpecker dolls just watch from the background.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
You actually, of course,
Stockwell.
mean Dean when David Lynch directed that episode of Battlestar Galactica.
Nope.
Yeah, no,
Can't follow you there, friend. I never watched that show.
Oh my God, Gary! There's this amazing scene in the third season where they have Dean Stockwell. There's actually two of them, and one of them is just watching Enraptured, while the first one lip syncs to a Roy Orbison song.
Ooh, well, that sounds incredible to me.
Yeah, he's got like some kind of like hexagonal light in his hand, and it's amazing. It's one of the most charismatic things I've ever seen.
You know my excellent band that you constantly nag for no good reason?
Mumdrudge?
Yeah. Andrew has written several songs about Battlestar Galactica.
Really?
Yeah.
You should play some. You should play some at the next Duck stream.
Well, we will actually. But you won't know they're about Battlestar Galactica. Yeah. I didn't know.
That's the fucking thing, isn't it? Because all your lyrics are like, and I'm in an elevator. And then later I'm like, what was that song about? You're like, postpartum depression.
Yeah, basically. You got it in one. The writing direct lyrics is for fools. And for Lin-Manuel Miranda. It's pathetic and I hate it. Never say what you're actually feeling in a song. The Nose Goblin. I almost said Noose Goblin.
Yeah.
That's a different goblin.
Yeah, that's a much darker thing.
Dark Goblin. Which was like top 5 trinkets in the game.
So they did nerf it.
They did nerf it, but it's still pretty incredible.
I was about to say, like, I looked at that. I had not realized they had nerfed it, and I looked at it today. I'm like, that's totally fucking fair.
It's still 10 times your damage for a trinket.
So so this is it supposed to be a boogie?
It's supposed to be a boogie.
It always looks like a leaf to me.
It doesn't look like a boogie. I'll tell you that much.
Boogie in the butt?
Boogie nights.
So
Every
what
night
this
is a
does
boogie night
is
when
gives
you're
you a
alone.
very high chance, I feel like, to fire a booger tier.
The chance is not demarcated in the wiki, of course, because the wiki fails us constantly.
Constantly.
A booger tier sticks on the enemy and does Isaac's tier damage, the whole thing, once per second. Not once per tick, which would be, absolutely broken.
Yeah.
Once per second, though, which is still really good.
And they stack.
Yeah, they stack. That's so incredible.
And this used to last for 60 seconds or until the enemy dies.
60 times your tier damage.
So you would get near the end of the game with like a nice decent tier rate, and you would fight a boss that didn't have super armor. And you would just stack like 20 of these things and then just watch the health bar go. Yep.
And now you still do that because it just lasts 10 seconds, which is still 10 times your damage, and it stacks.
Yeah. This is this basically does the same thing as an item. There's an item that does this too, sinus infection.
One of the best items as well. Like, sinus infection is incredible. Huge, like, DPS multiplier. The The big difference with this one is this is actually a little bit better because it homes.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It is. This is.
So
I don't know
broken.
why this is a trinket, honestly.
The other one should be a trinket. And last like 5 seconds. And this should be the item. This is a must pick up. This is one of those things that gives you a real Isaac's Sophie's choice, where you're like, oh, brainworm or nose goblin. Like you'll pick up marbles and you'll get this, brainworm and nose goblin, and just not know which one to get because it's all so good.
Yeah, just get that. Just go hurt yourself until the marbles make you eat it.
Mm-hmm. Now I know you pick your nose. We've talked about this before.
I don't know if that's true.
We definitely talked about it before.
Maybe.
Because you eat them.
I don't think so.
I everything to Guppy Classics.
Gary, I'm pretty sure I edit the show, so no.
Well, listeners, if you would like to download this episode and edit in the part where Will talks about eating his,
Gary, you think I'm going to let this go out before I go take my little comb through the archives, just get all that shit out?
Like people don't have their own independently backed up.
Oh, but that could be
copies.
No one, like, I don't know. Gary, let's sell NFTs of the bits of Guppy where I talk about eating my body fluids.
That's a great idea.
It's not. It's
for
not,
each one.
not,
well, it's not actually. But then for each one we do, we leave a car running until the tank runs out.
Yeah.
Just outside.
SUV, please.
Yeah, SUV. But I was going to say, I obviously judged you harshly for that. But I pick my nose all the time. I just don't eat it.
What do you do?
Like I don't know anybody who lives alone who doesn't pick their nose.
What do you do?
I feel like if you're virtue signaling if you don't.
Where does it go, Gary?
Into a tissue.
Who has? Oh, because of your masturbation.
I don't know who wipes up with a tissue. Have you ever tried that? It's a good way to like get all kinds of little tiny pieces of paper all over your pubis.
I mean, wait, are you talking about tissue? Are you talking about like a Kleenex tissue or a bathroom tissue?
So I'm talking. Well, it doesn't matter. I don't.
Or are you talking about one of those like packs of tissue that you get in Yakuza games?
I'm certainly not talking about that. I don't know that one. I use washcloths to wipe up after masturbation, and I use Kleenex.
So you're throwing away a washcloth every time you masturbate?
I'm throwing it into a hamper
with your clothes
that are dirty that are going to get cleaned. Yes. You think that's gross?
It drips.
How much are you bringing to the party, man? Like a washcloth is pretty absorbent.
Like 2 mugs full, normal.
Like a 20 ouncer, like a brisk 20 ouncer.
I'm the Rock at the gym, but with jisms.
What a nightmare. What if it was that and it took like 45 minutes to deploy?
Yeah.
Just like, well, I better clear the afternoon. I had an orgasm.
I mean, basically, you've described my life.
That's incredible.
I get so tired.
What an incredible specimen your dick is.
I get so tired.
What was that?
Nothing. Listener heard it. We're good. This is a really good trinket.
Yeah, this is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. Yeah. Yeah, it's trivia. This trinket's name and description is a reference to the Nurse Stimpy episode of Ren and Stimpy. I don't know if that's true. I know there are nose goblins in that episode, but I've also heard that just for boogers generally.
Yeah.
I don't know which one came first.
Boogers generally.
Yes. From the Boogers General. What should people do if they like the show, Will?
They could go to patreon.com/duckfeedtv and send some money to us and Cole.
Mm-hmm. And Cole, to a lesser extent.
And Dennis.
And to a way lesser extent, Jeremy.
And Dennis.
Yeah, Dennis gets a little bit.
John.
I think. Yeah, I think they get paid.
Wait, do the level people not get paid? Is this? I gotta get the duck feed union going.
Yeah, I legitimately don't know because I don't interface with those folk that much. I like them. Like I don't have anything against them. I just don't podcast with them.
Mm-hmm.
But you can also leave us ratings and reviews on Apple Podcast or Podcast Addict.
Yeah. Which we do have enough for 1 week. We're doing 2 weeks this week. So spoiler alert for it's going to get stupid. So I don't have enough for 2 full weeks, but I do have this.
Okay.
This was left on Podcast Addict by Tell to Me Who I. Cellos range from dirt cheap to more money than the finest houses. You'll find the sweet spot for a young professional in the 2 to 4K range. The pros on stage have instruments ranging from 18 to 30K, 30 to 50K, or they play on an old Italian instrument, which can easily hit 6 to 7 figures. I watched this episode without the show going because I was driving, but I did watch Cats with you, so that was special. And that's a 5-star review.
Thank you. And also very useful.
As I say, that might be the most information that's ever come through in a review.
Yeah, and useful information. Information that I would have Googled after we recorded if I was still interested. I forgot about it immediately.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.